Morning everyone, I'll sit up. Hi, welcome to Pilates. This is round 16 of Pilates at Rise and we love each and every single round that we do. This is no exception, lots of fun to be had. We mix up our classical sequences of Pilates with some nice functional movements to keep you working well. This is essentially how I like to describe Pilates. Allows you to function well, allows you to be nice and balanced through the left and right side of the body, and works into that stabilization of the body itself, supporting the spine. So as we lie here on the floor, we're going to just allow whatever you want to happen with the back. You can have it down on the floor. You might want to have a little arch, particularly if you're in that supine bound angle with the feet together. The lower back will want to lift, and that's natural, that's fine. You don't have to do anything with that. You might want to release the arms up overhead. Just giving yourself opportunity to absorb a bit of heat in the room. If you're at home, it might be equally as hot outside. It is a good, lovely day today. Just whatever's been going on this last week, just sigh it out. So drawing big, deep breaths right into the lungs, down deep into the belly, and then moving that breath where you need it around the body, and exhaling anything which is left over, which we don't want to hang on to. So our breath pattern is slightly different in Pilates to yoga. Normally we're going to exhale on the harder bit in our Pilates session, whereas normally it'll be the inhale in yoga, so slightly different breath. But I'll cue you in, don't worry. Maybe you're feeling this into the inside thighs if you're in that recline bound angle. Maybe your shoulders are feeling a bit tight, and by taking the arms up above the head, that can feel like a little bit of release. So as always, modifying whatever exercise that we're doing today to suit your needs. Don't feel that you have to take the hardest version of the exercise ever. You might want to work up to it. You might decide that because we do quite a lot of repetitions, we're going to mix up a little bit harder, a little bit easier. Right, let's get shifting into a dynamic bridge. So bringing the legs together. You can always bring the hands on the outside of the thighs to move the legs in. Grounding down through the feet. I now want you to think about what's happening with the spine. Morning, Lucia. So pressing down with the lower back, knees to the sky. Just wiggle the toes. Get comfortable through the feet. Big toe, little toe, heel grounding down. Release the arms long by the side body and take a tight or tiny little tuck of the chin towards the chest. So feeling the spine nice and long on the mat. Now start to squeeze your buttocks, squeeze the tummy, draw the navel down towards the floor, the lower back, and then start to bring that basket of the pelvic floor up towards the tummy button. And now we're engaged. And we're going to maintain that engagement as we inhale, prepare, and as I said, on the exhale, that's when we do the hard work. We're going to float the hips up towards the sky. We're very much focusing on control of each and every part of these movements. That's going to allow our muscles to spend a bit more time working hard under tension, and over time build up that endurance that we need to hold our posture firm and strong throughout our day, whatever it is that we're doing. So working with your breath, inhaling to return the spine, no rush to get the spine down, lower back connecting to the floor, and then exhaling to lift. If you want to allow the arms to come up overhead, see how that feels through the neck and the shoulders. And then inhale your way back down. So we start to build a little bit of heat in the lower back and the glutes. Exhaling to lift. We start to stretch out the quads. We start to lengthen through the back of the neck and the spine. So we do complete quite a few repetitions of each exercise. Again, that's working towards the endurance element of the class. So the muscles won't fatigue as quickly as we build up that endurance. It's the aim of the game. Just another couple of bridges, and then we'll start with our first curl up. So make sure you've got that belt nice and tight. Imagine you're tightening the notch on a belt. You're finding that extra hole in the loop that you can press the buckle through. So drawing in, lifting up the pelvic floor. Last time. Exhale to lift. Inhale to roll down. Well done. Let's just take the arms out wide, release through a spinal twist. So both legs can fall over towards the right. Keep the shoulders heavy. Guide the legs down. You can take the gaze over towards the left if that feels comfortable through the neck. And then because it's not a Pilates exercise as such, we're going to inhale, squeeze the tummy and draw the knees back to center, then use the exhale because we're stretching out. And this stretch is lovely because it gets into the abdominals, it gets into the lower back, and it also stretches out down the outside of the thighs as well. All areas which are going to be key to our practice today. Inhale, come through center. Okay. Keeping the feet down on the floor, we're going to take your basic curl up. So set the spine up nice and long on the mat. Imagine that central line on your mat and line the spine on there. Take the fingertips to the temples initially. Keep the elbows out wide. So the temptation as we roll up is to bring the elbows inwards. I want you to keep them out wide so you get that deeper engagement through the lower abs. So press the spine down onto the floor and that's where it's going to stay. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, roll up. Lift. Inhale to lower. So we're going to keep the feet down on this one. Exhale to lift, elbows wide. Inhale to lower. We're going to take another 8 in your own time with your own breath. Don't rush it. So exhaling to lift. Maybe a little pause at the top if you're feeling strong today. Inhale to release down. So we've got another 5. The idea is that we try and relax through the shoulders, relax the facial muscles. If we're finding an exercise challenging, we tend to hold the breath as well. Try to avoid that if you can. Remember, you don't have to bring the shoulders all the way down the earth. You can maintain a slight elevation, making the exercise more challenging. Another 2 reps in your own time. Good, last one, exhale, squeeze and lift. Now hold here for me, folks. We're going to pulse it out for 10, 9. Keep the gaze skywards if you can. 7, 6. Really pressing that lower back to the floor. 5, 4, 3. Just gently warming up those abs. 2, 1. Now can we hold? Elbows wide, gaze skywards for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Fantastic. Release down. Maybe hug the knees in. Just give yourself a gentle roll side to side. So relaxing into the shoulders a little bit here. Now our next exercise also involving the lower abdominals. We're going to take a bind around the backs of the thighs. We're going to work ourselves into a little ball position, chin to chest, and see if we can use those abs to roll our body backwards and then forwards. And you might want to tap the toes down on the floor to regain that balance, but if you can, see if you can do it without touching the toes down. So chin to chest as you roll down, roll it up. Try not to use the legs, try and use that lower abdominal region. Release and squeeze. Now as you come up, I want you to lift the chest up towards the sky. I said Alicia, it's Rosie, sorry. Don't know why. Alicia always comes to this 9:31. Just assumed it was her. Sorry, Rosie. Roll on down. Lift. I just suddenly thought, were you? I bet you were. Rolling down. Good. Another 2. Now, if you want on this last one, have a think about moving to a yogi squat. What's it going to take to come all the way up? Use the hands if you need to. Don't worry. Taking the toes turned out, the heels turn in. No pressure at all to bring the bum down too low. If you prefer, you can bring the feet to parallel and take a squat position. If you're comfortable enough, sink on down into your yogi squat. So anywhere in between is fine. And again, think about our spine. Spine is integral to all this Pilates malarkey. So if you lengthen out through the crown of the head, you can use the elbows to press into the knees and vice versa. Just starting to find a little bit of openness into the hips. So this is prep for our next few sections. We'll be working into a marching bridge next, but then we're going to work, into a plank next, into some press-up combinations. And then come into, back onto our backs. Alrighty, one more inhale here. Exhale, release the hands. Press the hips to the sky and see if you can heel toe the feet in underneath the hips. Find a floppy forward fold when you're ready. So finding length through the back of the body, particularly the hamstrings. Let the crown of the head relax down. If you're feeling like you've got a little tension in the neck tonight, or this morning even, you can interlock the hands around the back of the neck. That can feel quite nice. Taking a couple of breaths here. Maybe moving the weight a little bit further forward into the balls of the feet, if that feels okay. Bending the knees, load if you need it. Okay, release the hands if you found that bind. Bend the knees and inhale, reach up tall. So we're coming all the way up to the sky, and then we're exhaling all the way back down. Woo! Taking the hands down to the floor. Let's walk our feet out towards our press-up position. So press-ups are fantastic for core strength. They really engage the whole of the body. And there's a few things I want you to think about. You can bring the knees down if you want, but press the fingertips into the floor. See if you can create a little suction cup with the palms of the hands. Round through the upper back. That's going to fire up your abdominals even more. Switch on the quads, squeeze into the bottom muscles, and try not to pike the hips. Okay, just move the weight gently forwards for now, and then exhale, press the heels away. So just a little jacksaw to warm up. At any point, you're welcome to come down onto the knees. So as we move the weight forwards this time, make sure the elbows are moving back behind us as we lower down slowly through this tricep press-up. So we're going to be working a combination move, tricep press-up, coming all the way down, belly flat to the floor. When we get there, we're going to take a Superman. So it's very much about how much space you've got in front of you. You could cactus the arms. You could extend the arms out in front. You could keep the tops of the feet down on the floor as we take a half lift. Or if it feels okay, float the feet off the floor so you can get the legs off as well. So into this prone Superman position. From there, bring the hands right back up in front of the armpits, tuck the toes. Let's see if we can reverse that tricep press. Nice and slow. I'm not going to count you in. I want you to work at a rate with which you're comfortable with. And then we're going straight back down. We're going to take 3 of these combination moves. So challenge yourself. Try not to bring your belly down too quickly at the latter end of your press. And take either a leg lift, an arm lift, or both. So keep the back of the neck long, keep the gaze down, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Slide the hands back into position, tuck the toes, squeeze that core, press. Strong through the midsection, well done all the way up. Last one, lower down. Option is your knees here. Don't rush because it's the last one. Find your Superman or Superwoman. Squeeze and lift, so really firing into the glutes here, lower back. And take the hands down. This time we're not pressing back up, don't worry, we're going to push the hips to the heels. And see if we can take a toe stand. So bringing yourself onto the tippy toes. Give yourself a little bit of room out in front. We've got another combination move. We like to link things up here at Rise. So if you look in the mirror and you find that either your knees are working out wide or your heels are working out wide, just see if you can bring them close together into line. And you're very welcome to keep the hands on the floor for this one. We're going to try without, but if you want to bring the hands down, that's fine. Okay, so we're looking to extend and lift through the spine on the inhale. Can we exhale, slowly bring the knees down to the floor? So it's a float, not a drop. Okay, fire up the back body. Open out with the arms, this half crucifix position. So it's a real good chest opener, but it's a good one for the lat muscles. Now, what's it going to take to get back into that toe stand? Way. Knees popping everywhere. Inhale, find length. Exhale, down we go. So resist that gravity, pulling you down. Open up. Try to avoid landing with a thunk if you can. Back through center. So really good for the core to get that lift back up, but fantastic as well for the ankles and the feet. So let's face it, as we get older, we might start to lose a bit of mobility in those areas as we become less active. So the aim here is to stay active, keep all areas of the body nice and strong. You could take the hands above the head, a little bit more challenge if you want. Float the feet down, release the arms, open wide, gaze to the sky. We'll take another 2. Don't worry if you overbalance. See if you can keep that tummy drawn in nice and tight. So any balance is coming from your core. Open up, last time. Release back through center. Way. Lift up. Okay, you can bring the hands down if you want. We're going to come down onto our back. So we've got a marching bridge to kick off with. From there, we're going to work into a little curl, and then we've got our jackknives. Jackknife sounds so sinister, doesn't it? But it's not too bad, I promise. So with your marching bridge, you've got the option here of rolling up first. I'm going to lift alternate legs, bending at the knee. You can take a straight leg, totally up to you. But make sure you set up first. Get that lower back down on the floor. Extend through the back of the neck. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, squeeze the back body as we float back up, just like we did at the beginning. But when we get there, this is where we're going to take the balance to one side of the body. So work at whichever side you want to. So you can have a straight leg, you can have a bent knee. And the idea here is we're able to take that leg lift without moving side to side. So we're stabilizing the knee joints by working into the quads a bit more here. Working obviously into the lower back and the glutes as well. Glutes really important for your back posture, particularly the upper back, the lat muscles. Squeeze. Also working into the front of the hips here, these tendons at the front, the hip flexors. Again, thinking about old age, you know, we're going to have to keep lifting the feet up so we don't stumble and trip. Hip flexors playing a big part in that. So keep moving side to side, nice and slow, remember. Have your hips dropped a little bit, push them up. Keep going for another 5. Well done. Keep the gaze skywards. Keep the back of the net long. 4. 3. Well done, everyone. 2. Last one. Nice soft foot placement. Should feel that nice warmth spreading across the lower back. On that last one, roll down. 1 vertebra at a time, down we go. And as that lower back touches base, that's where it's going to stay. Now this time, float the knees over the hips and the feet off the floor, little curl up and pulse. Taking the fingertips to the temples. Really draw that tummy button in, lift up the pelvic floor. Find that engagement. If that's enough, just hold. You don't have to take the curl up. Otherwise, inhale, prepare. Exhale, lift up with the chest. Now, if you want to on this one, if you want to reach the fingers forwards between the legs, you don't have to stay on the temples. You can release the arms out behind. Inhale, maybe come on the outside of that left thigh. So alternating where we're going with this one, but slow it right down if you can, right leg. So squeeze and lift, so we're getting into the obliques a little bit. Okay, so with the lower back on the floor, can you move the knees a little bit further away, or does the lower back start to lift? So if you look at the screens, if I've got my knees quite close to my chest there, what's it going to take to bring the knees into this 90 position? It will make it more challenging. If you do want to tap the toes down, you're welcome to, but make sure it's all about that lower back. Lengthen out. Exhale, squeeze and twist. Or coming through center, wherever you are in this pattern of movement. Taking our jackknife next. Half or full, your choice. Squeeze. Give me one more. Inhale. Exhale. Brilliant. If you need to take a release here, take one. You might want to take another bridge. You might want to hug the knees in. You might just want to have a little blah, 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 legs and arms in the air, whatever suits. So, jackknife. We're going to work through an extension of the legs. Now, you're very welcome to keep the shoulders down. So if we start with the knees above the hips, it might be that you're going to hug the left knee in and extend with the right. So this is your basic half jackknife. Shoulders stay down, back stays long, alternating that draw in of each knee. You could lift up with the shoulders, make it a little bit more challenging. Again, hugging in, alternating each knee. If you want to take your full jackknife, you can take both knees in at the same time, and then release out long. And then draw in with both knees, and release out long. Lower back flat to the floor, remember, so if you don't start to lift in the lower back, just don't take the legs out as far. You can still take the arms overhead if you want. Just find that challenge point. Release. Exhale as you extend. It's challenging, it's difficult. Use the breath. Inhale, squeeze. Exhale, lengthen. 3 more. Doing really well. Inhale. Exhale. Got squat position coming up, so a bit of standing work. Draw in. Lateral lunge to follow. Release. Is that the last one? I can't remember. No, one more. All right. Always at this time in the morning, that light goes off. It's really frustrating.
And every time I think I must stop that happening.
Right, from wherever you are, you can roll onto your side, or you might roll up to seated, coming into that squat position again. So this time, working the hands on the insides of the feet. Now, bend your knees loads. Doesn't matter about how extended the legs are. You can work, so hands are right inside the instep if you can. We're going to press the shoulders against the inside of the knees or the upper arms, wherever you are. Taking the butt down and the gaze forwards on the inhale, we're exhaling to lengthen. And you don't have to get the legs straight, just work within that range. So what we're working here is the glutes and the quads. So nice and slow, inhale to lift. So it's not a flexibility exercise, it's about that repetitive movement through these muscle groups, starting to build a bit of fatigue, starting to get a little bit of heat working into those quads. So as you lift the hips, weight into the balls of the feet. As you lower the hips, weight into the heels. Remember that lovely long extended spine throughout if you can. Draw that tummy in. Inhale. Exhale. Keep pressing the knees against the arms against the knees. For another 5. Good. 4. As I said, lateral lunges next with 3 options for you. 2. 1, good. Everyone feeling those quads? Inhale to lift, nice work. Bring the heel toe into center, chin to chest. Roll on up. Okay, if you all turn in to face me, we're going to hit that central point on the mat. If you've got a clear mat, it's the rise symbol. We're taking level 1, step out wide, lateral lunge. Do what you like with the hands. You can have them at the heart center. You might want to take it out wide, a bit like a skater. And then we're floating that outside foot back to the inside. And we're taking it to the other side. So as you come into your lunge, just be mindful of that knee coming too far forward. Send the sit bones back. So think about that long spine. So we're not hunching over, keeping a long, tall spine, back through center. So work at your own pace on this one. Option 2, we're going to take the opposite hand to the inside of the foot and take a reach up, maybe a gaze up behind you. So a little twist in there. And level 3, if you wanted to work on challenging the balance, we're going to take the outside foot and take a knee drive. You can tap down with the toe, you can come straight into that knee drive, whatever you can. So everything about Pilates is slow, it's controlled. So don't rush that step back to center. See if you can float and lift. Find that functional strength. Draw in through the core strength. That's what we're aiming for. Lift, twist. And float if you can. No worries if not. Let's take another 2 on each side. And then I'm sorry to say we're back into the press-ups. This time we're going to take a wide press. So working into the pectoral muscles and the upper back rather than the upper arms. Okay, 1 more each side. Don't rush. Twist. Knee drive. Think about that height we can achieve through that knee drive. Last time. Back through center. Super. Nailed it. And bring the foot down, well done. Okay, so as I said, we're into that press, so let's take our way to the back of our mat and let's walk out forwards to a plank. So practice that engagement as we're lengthening out. So chin to chest rolling down, bringing the hands down towards the floor, bend the knees as much as you need. Imagine you're planting your hands in the sand as we walk forwards. Okay, when you get into that normal plank position, walk the hands wide of the shoulders. So you come into the outside edge of your mat. If you're in this position with your bum high, I'd recommend bringing the knees down and then move the weight forward. So you want to have that nice, strong plank position. Again, with the fingertips, grip the mat, power up the quads, power up the glutes. Start to lower. I'm going to go for 5. You can go whatever speed you want. 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, now down the foot. It's a prone pull-up. So I want you to create a W shape with your arms. Float the hands off the floor, and then start to draw the elbows towards the hips as you lift up into the chest. So the lower back squeezing. Again, feet can be down, or you can squeeze and lift the feet. So as you prone pull-up, imagine you sat on one of those pull-up machines in the gym where you've got the bar and you're pulling it down behind your head. That's the sensation across the back we're going for. And then float the hands back down into your wide position from the floor, tuck the toes, and reverse that nice wide press for me. Fabulous. And off we go again. Lower. You're very welcome to rest if you need to. Bring the knees down to make it easier. Only lifting the upper half of the body to make it easier, or lifting the whole of the legs off the floor so you can just balance on the front of the pelvis. Hands plant, toes tuck, squeeze and lift. Nice and strong, well done.
lower down. We've got a nice kneeling twist next. Bit of release. Take that W-shaped prone pull-up. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Should we just hold there a bit longer? For 5, 4. Shoulders moving down the back. 3, 2, 1. Good. Press the hands underneath the armpits this time, working back into that kneeling position. So no toe stand this round, working into a twist. Inhale, arms high. Exhale, left hand to the right knee or something along those lines. If you struggle with your ankles and you want to sit cross-legged, that's fine. Taking that nice tall spine, that rotation. And then moving back through center on the inhale. Exhaling, taking that to the other side. Left hand, either on the floor or into the low back crease, whatever you've got going on is good. Just releasing those abs which have been working quite hard. Releasing the lower back as well. Okay, coming back around through center. Bring yourself down onto your bottoms, take the feet out wide. We've got saw pose. Now, a lot of people mistake this for a forward fold. We're not trying to round through the upper back at all in order to reach the feet. Don't worry about where the feet are. What we're looking for is that extended spine, okay? Arms are lifting. We're going to take the pinky finger outside of the little toe or towards that direction. So what we're not trying to do is roll over into a forward fold. We want to keep that height through the spine. So we're looking to, by all means, hinge forward from the hips, but we need to do so with a straight back. Right arm behind. Inhale to lift. Exhale the other way. Good. Inhale, power up, squeeze. So using those strong muscles around the midsection and the lower back to lift. Rotate. Good. So this saw exercise, one of the most horrific films I think I've ever seen, saw, and every time I look at what the exercises that we're doing, it makes me think of this film. It's just awful. Squeeze. Never watch horror films. No. If I'm going to fill my head, it would be rainbows and unicorns, not with, not horror films. Inhale, lift. Just a couple more on each side. Inhale. Last time. Squeeze. Perfect. Come back through center. Bring the legs in. We're down onto our back. Single leg bridge. So slightly different from our marching bridge in that we're going to lift the leg first. I'm going to power up. So if you have got an unbalanced hips, this is a nice way to start to readdress that issue. So bringing the heels down. You can always walk the heels a little bit further away if that's more comfortable. Do what you need to do setup-wise for your body. And then take the left leg to the sky. Flex the foot. So we're working these quad muscles as well. We inhale, roll up onto the shoulders without tilting to one side if we can. And we're just going to hold here. So it's a nice, what we call isometric muscular contraction, where we're holding stillness, but the muscles are definitely still working because we can feel them. Rather than when we're lifting and lowering and the muscles are working in pairs. Working concentrically and eccentrically. So lifting up, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze for another 5, 4, 3, 2. Don't get excited, we're not coming down, we're going to pulse it out. 1, let's go, squeeze. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now you can bring the foot down and then release the spine all the way down. Are we ready for that on the other side? Left foot grounds. Right foot to the sky. Flex the foot. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, scoop those hips high. Gaze skywards. Let the chest float towards the chin. Hold. Can release the arms above the head if you want. Just makes you a little bit less stable. Makes the challenge on the core a little bit harder. Keep holding for another 3. Hello, quads. 2. 1. Pulse it out. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Keep going. 4, 3. Awesome. 2. And 1. Roll on down. All right, just when you thought the hard work was done, it's not. Lower back to the floor. We've got our dish hold. So palms face up, arms long by the side body. Knees bent. The harder you want to make this, the more the legs extend. Lift up through the shoulders. We're creating that dish shape through the body. Hold and lift wherever you want to be. Perfect. Lower back to the floor. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Think of nice, happy thoughts. Rainbows and unicorns again. Sunny days, beaches, holidays, what are we going for? Rosie, happy thought? The movie what? Saw? No, no. Oh God, no. Thanks for that. I'll stop that conversation right now and count for 5, 4, 3, don't hold the breath, 2, 1, release down. Well done, everyone. Draw the knees in. Give yourself a little roll around. Maybe take some circles through the hips if you don't want to just go left and right. Just massage out that lower back. It does deserve it. Okie dokie, are we ready? Rock and roll, up we go. We're into our Panther, one of my faves. So Panther is a variation of a plank, so still working on the whole body. Tuck the toes, float the knees just above the mat by an inch, if you can. That's it. Now if this is enough, stay there. Press again like we were doing a press up through the fingertips. Squeeze that tummy. Okay, if you want a little bit more, as you take an exhale, take the knees wide, take the hips to the heels, and then float forwards back to Panther. In your own time, if you want to add a little bit more, there's always more. You can take a knee drive. So as you come forward to Panther, float one knee towards one elbow, same elbow, open out. Float forward, so it's not a drive, it's a float. Keep the knees nice and low. So it's a really nice way to open up the hips, but it's a really good burner for the quads. Float in here for another 3. Keep that rounding through the upper back. 2. Good. Last one. Woo, well done. You can lift the hips if you like, anything you need to. I'm going to walk my way towards a standing position. So we're going to take a wide chair into an oblique twist. So it's a standing exercise, so make your way up. Take the feet a little bit wider. They don't have to be fully mat width apart, so see what your balance is feeling like. It's just a little bit easier if you take them outside of hip distance. Fingertips to temples. So we're going to take that deep-seated squat weight into the heels. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, down we go. So squat deep. And then you use that leg power to come up, twist, elbow to the opposite knee. Float the foot back down. So it's not a thump back down, lower, nice and low. Oh God, I've gone the other way. Sorry, the wrong way. You carry on, you know what you're doing. Opposite elbow, opposite knee. So alternating sides. That's it. Try and keep the elbows wide and get the knee up towards the elbow if you can. Just maybe squatting down a little bit deeper each time if you can. Release the shoulders, down the back. Okay, one more. I'm going to have to go same again because I did a double on one side. Don't want to be wonky. Wow, now I'm going all over the place. Okay, release from there. Heading into down dog, we're going to work into down dog hold or down dog press ups. So, hands and feet, shoulder and hip distance. You're very welcome to just hold here if you want. If we can, we're going to lower, elbows wide, the crown of the head towards the floor. And press back up. And lower. Scoop up that pelvic floor, draw in through the tummy, protect the back. 3, 2, last one. Fantastic, good work. Come forward through plank. Come down onto the forearms. Press the heels away. Just do a little hip roll, so squeeze in through the core, let the left hip drop down towards the earth. Back through center on the exhale. Inhale, drop it down. Exhale, hard work, come back to center. Inhale the other way. Keeping the spine nice and long for another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Should we hold plank for a bit? Yeah. All right, so you can bring the elbows under the shoulders, fire up those quads, keep the gaze down. I've gone slightly off-piste here, but that's all right. Keeps it interesting, doesn't it? So if your bum starts to lift up. It's what? Full plank course is on Rise TV. If plank's something you want to work on, Rosie did a lovely little course over lockdown for you all to try. She did it all in a day to film it, so don't try that. Just work up to it for another 3, 2. 1, bring the knees down. Well done, well done. All right, let's go for panther again. This time it's a panther with a kick through. So find your panther pose. If you need to rest, hit child's pose. Tuck the toes, inhale, prepare. Exhale, kick the right foot underneath. Now keep your bum nice and low towards the floor. So it's all about that low down position through the hips. Rolling back through center with care, nice and slow. Then throw the left foot. You can always reach opposite hand to opposite toe if you want, but keep the hips low. That's what we're going for. If you want to make this a little bit harder, keep both hands down on the floor. Kick the leg out, keeping both hands firmly planted. Well done. So this is a really good functional strength movement. You see a lot of this type of thing, I forgot what they call it, in the primal play series. So working with animalistic movements. Well done. Give me another couple each side. Last one. Perfect. As you come back through center, find panther, lift the hips, walk the hands back if you like towards the toes, roll up. Okay, we're nearly there. We're going to come towards the front of our mat. I've got a rear stepping lunge into a curtsy. So I always find this coordination malarkey quite difficult, stepping back into a rear lunge. So just have a look in the mirror and see if you can line up the ankle, the knee. And you've got options to drop the back knee down and lift up. You could take a knee drive if you want, and then float into a little curtsy. So lifting up, stepping back. Same leg. Lift, maybe a drive, don't rush it. Maybe we don't tap that back foot down and we take a really low curtsy lunge without tapping the right toes. Taking a secondary knee drive if you want to. You could miss out the drop. See what works for you. So these combination movements, all geared to representing how the body might move on a day-to-day basis, or the muscle groups at least that we're using. But you do bend down a lot to pick stuff up, and if you've got an imbalance between left and right sides, this can really help. Just give me one more on this side. Lift. Release behind. And then we've got our second side. So bring the right foot down. Get yourself balanced on that right foot. Spread out the toes. Okay, rear stepping lunge to begin with. Catch the balance. Maybe take a knee drop. Fire up. Maybe take a knee drive. Release into your curtsy. So it's all about bending deeply into this right knee, but avoiding, if you can, bring the knee too far forwards. That's it. Power up. Looking for height through the spine. Lower. We've got 5 more. Keep working. Good. 4. Oh. Well done. You can always release the arms above the head if you want a little bit more activity through the arms. Woo. We'll just do one more. Don't want to miss out on the next plank, do we? We've got our next plank. We're looking at moving from a forearm plank to a full plank. Optional lifting one elbow at a time. Option lifting both at the same time. See how we go. We are nearly there. So walking the hands out, find your way to your forearm plank. So rather than interlocking the hands at this point, you want the hands flat to the floor. Okay, bums down. You can bring yourself onto the knees if you want to. So the idea is we either push up into the right arm, right arm comes back down, and then left arm, right arm, right arm. So you're alternating which hand you push into first. Or if you can, we're going to go for the double push and double lower. Double push, it's like an extended press up. Double lower. Double push, appreciate it's a difficult one, this one. Lower. 2 more. Push. Lower. Last time. Push. Lower, well done. Drop to the knees. Take a little release back into child's pose. We're going to finish on our backs in a sec. Just then spending a couple of breaths here, stretching out through the spine. Well done. Take the knees as wide as you want to in your child's pose to accommodate the hips. And using the breath to float back to table. Bring your bottoms down to the floor. Let's chuck the legs out in front of us. Double leg forward fold. Lots of knee bend if you need to. Inhale, arms lift. Exhale, up and over. Don't worry about where your hands get to. It's not a competition. Hands can be really passive down on the floor. You can hold on the ankles, the toes, whatever you need. Maybe walk the sit bones back a little bit if the legs are straight, but very happy for you to have bent legs. Using your strap if you need to. Using that breath. Another big breath in. And out. We've got one more exercise to go. It's another core one, great for the obliques. It's a twisted teaser. Teasers are similar to boats in yoga. So chin to chest roll up. I'd recommend taking the hands down to the floor, either side of the hips, walking the feet in, lifting up through the torso to begin with. Okay, can we float the feet off the floor? What would it take to tap both toes onto the left of the mat? Inhale, lift up to center, maybe straighten the legs. Tap down towards the right. Can do this, woo, with the hands lifted. I just struggle to pivot. What is it, our friends? Pivot! I can't pivot. I sort of have to use my hands to help me twist so I can get into that range of movement, which is working the obliques. Oh, don't start with that. Rosie lost it when you said about lack of dexterity in her tongue. She didn't recover. She didn't recover. Exactly, she did that and never recovered. It was her own admission as well. Okay, one more each side because this is getting burny. Lift and twist. Well done. Come round through center. Come down onto your backs. And let's enjoy a stretch out of that right leg and a draw into the left knee. Taking a spinal twist. Left arm comes out wide. Inhale. This time using that yogic exhale to find space. You can rest the right hand on the left thigh, but keep the left shoulder down if you can. Maybe turn the gaze over towards the left. Whilst you're having a little stretch out, I'm going to grab you a nice cold face cloth. So just enjoy this stretch. It's a banger, this one. It gets into the abs, allows you to rotate and twist and stretch out the abs into the lower back. It's also good for the outside of the thigh as well. So loads going on. When you're ready, you can extend the left leg, draw the right knee in. Give yourself a little hug in. Forgiven if you trump, it is wind relieving pose. And then take your twist over towards the left. What are you laughing at? Yeah, there you go. Have a cold cloth. It is cold, yeah. So sometimes quite nice to just take a bit of light out of the room if you pop it over your eyes. When you've enjoyed your twist to the other side and you're ready to move back through center, if there's any other twists and turns that you like to take, you're super welcome to do so. If you want to turn around and throw your legs up the wall, that can feel quite nice at the end of a session as well. So do what you're needing to do, what your body needs to do. Listen to it. It tells you things for a reason. Just enjoying the next minute or so in this hot flop position. Again, finding a comfortable position which your body is happy with. So for full sort of shavasana, full corpse pose is good for you. Go for it. If it bothers your lower back, bring the knees up and let the knees knock together in a pelvic reset. Resting your eyes closed. Although Pilates isn't particularly sort of spiritual or anything like that, I do think we do deserve to give our bodies a bit of a well done today and maybe just have some sense of gratitude for what you are able to do in a session and what you are able to do around and about in your life at the moment. I know we think that we've had a lot taken away from us in the last year, but things could have been a whole lot worse. Making the most and making time for the things that you enjoy. Allowing the body to rest.
You're very welcome to stay just a little bit longer down on your mat, or you could start to bring some movements back into the body if you're ready. Just small movements to start off with, a little finger toe wiggle, maybe a circle of the ankles and wrists. I'm just bringing myself up to seated so I can say well done to those of you joining us at home before I descend into the fire pits. Thank you for joining me. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Namaste. Peeps in the studio, no rush, no rush. You're very welcome to come to seated if you want to. If you're not quite there yet, stay where you are, Marie. It's fine. Oh, it's beautiful. Look, yeah, it's very supportive in the back, and it's great for the lymph system drainage. It's very calming to have your legs in the air. It's good. Alrighty, let's take a big breath in together, folks. Wherever position you're in. Fill up, and then fill up that cup a little bit more, extra breath. And then let it all out. Well done. Super job. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for sharing your energy today. Bish, bash, bosh. Weekend. Bravo, bravo. Has anybody got anything planned for the weekend? Kids are broken up. Yay! Today. Yeah, last day at